She's been nicknamed the greatest mother in Kosovo. Today, she's visiting the graves of two of her sons, Artan and Edmund, dead at the age of 25 and 14. We're in Jakova, in one of the numerous cemeteries reserved for civilian victims of the Kosovo War. This house now provides shelter only for painful memories. For this woman, those of her husband and 4 sons abducted by Serb paramilitaries in 1999. The bodies of the eldest and youngest son were handed over to her years later. Her husband and their 2 other children are still missing.
We've knocked on every possible door. We've been to see many officials. We've been to see EULEX, because I'm almost sure that the bodies of my husband Halim and of my 2 sons, and those of all the others who were there that day, are in their morgue. We're sure they're there, but EULEX is not doing its job to find the bodies of my family. I've not seen their bodies with my own eyes. I didn't see them dead, so until the day I die, I will always carry the hope that one day they may return.
This is the Kosovo Forensics Department, jointly run by the EU's Rule of Law mission EULEX and the Kosovan authorities. This is where experts put back together the remains of bodies found in mass graves scattered over Kosovo and Serbia and endeavour to determine the cause of death. A complex task, as is that of identifying bodies from DNA samples.
Cases which we bring from the Serbia, they have been buried first in Kosovo, after that buried in Serbia. So they have been removed 2 or 3 times, and all the parts are separated. So the samples what we got it here as a 400 samples, that doesn't mean that there are 400 persons.
Officially, nearly 2,000 people are still missing since the end of the conflict in Kosovo in 1999. 3/4 of them belong to the Albanian community. The remaining quarter are mostly from the Serb minority in Kosovo. The case of the disappeared in Kosovo was recently brought up in the Swiss Senator Dick Marty's report, adopted in January by the Council of Europe's Parliamentary Assembly. He accuses former officials from the KLA, the Kosovo Liberation Army, of deportation, torture and organ trafficking during and at the end of the conflict. Among them are several current political figures, including the Kosovan Prime Minister Hashim Thaçi. He denies it, but he's also cited as one of the leaders of an organised crime network in reports by KFOR, the NATO-led force in Kosovo, as leaked to the British newspaper The Guardian. The EULEX mission is studying Marty's report, but wants evidence in order to carry out a thorough investigation.
The law works neither on rumours nor on allegations. It works on proof. So the day when we're in a position to bring together evidence, we'll be able to bring cases before the courts and we'll be able to envisage trials ending in convictions.
But KFOR's documents, for example, are they allegations or information based on fact?
Well, listen, the KFOR's documents are intelligence documents, and experience proves that in legal matters, intelligence sources are not usable as such in judicial cases.
Les sources de renseignement ne sont pas utilisables telles quelles sur un plan judiciaire.
The Swiss senator is calling for strong commitments by the European Union over the protection of witnesses. Intimidated during previous trials, a number of them retracted their evidence rather than risk the fate of some.
There are witnesses who've been assassinated. You can't expect us today to deliver the names of witnesses without there being absolute guarantees as to their protection.
Also under the spotlight is Albania. According to Marty's report, the country harboured several secret detention centres run by the KLA, where atrocities were committed against mostly Serb civilians, including the removal of human organs. We have an appointment with a major figure from Kosovo's ruling party in Parliament. Belonging to the group implicated by Dick Marty, he's also described in NATO's leaked files as the mastermind of an organised crime network alongside the Prime Minister Hashim Thaçi. Lies and political mudslinging, he says.
Not one of these accusations against me can be proved. I have absolutely nothing to do with them. Some things which are in this report are true. There are people who've been killed in Kosovo. There are people missing in Kosovo. But if I had been a protagonist, if all these intelligence sources had proof of all of that, I would certainly not be here. I'd be in prison.
Although the accusations against the KLA outrage Kosovan Albanians, voices are being raised against those in power. Wake Up is the name of an NGO which denounces corruption in the government and the compliance of its foreign allies. It believes that even if they're unfounded, recent suspicions compromise Kosovo's image.
Political stability and security in exchange for anything, this very Machiavellistic, I would say, approach, has always been like an approach to the internationals who are based in Kosovo. They have worked together with all these people for so long a time that it's very difficult for them now to take a position. Kosovo is practically the last country in the region that has in office, in public office, this sort of people who are accused of this kind of crimes. The best way to move forward and to do something is removing these people who will practically be an obstacle for the country to the integration.
Destination Mitrovica, a city divided between its Albanian community in the south and the Serbs in the north. We have a rendezvous on the Serb side with a man who wants to shed light on the atrocities committed against civilians from both communities. His brother Miroslav has been missing since 1998, when he was kidnapped with several other men by members of the KLA near the mine where he worked.
I believe that KFOR has tracked the fate of these missing people. I believe also that they've archived the information, and I want them to open those archives. I can't believe that all these powers don't have a trace of these disappearances and killings and of everything that's happened here.
This is where the bodies of Milorad's brother and of 20 or so other Serb civilians are thought to be buried. A former mine, it was identified, according to an unofficial source, by a witness to the execution by members of the KLA. Winter has interrupted the excavations begun by the teams from ULEX. Finding the bodies isn't enough, says Milorad. The international community should name all those who are guilty.
They know who committed these crimes. They should say so that we only hate the perpetrators, not the communities, so that all of us can be reconciled.
Finding war criminals is a long drawn-out job that continues to cause torment. Two of Milanka's nephews disappeared shortly after the end of the conflict. Kosovan Serbs, they were abducted by Albanians from their farm with their father and young brother, who both managed to escape. The person behind the kidnapping was found, imprisoned, and then released for lack of proof. Today, Milanka blames the UN and NATO forces.
Everywhere we've gone, all those we've spoken to, be they from KFOR, the UN's interim administration mission, all those who summoned us to tell us one thing or another, all that has brought nothing, absolutely nothing. If only we'd known whether to cry or to pray. The only thing we want is to know the truth about what they did to them. Are they alive or not? I don't know.